Dr. Prahu? Hi, doctor.
Now, very good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
No, in the gist of the lotus, which three beautiful information you gave, Linda. Thank you very much. It was an awesome way of introducing the topic you went through, and then you gave a glimpse of it. Yes, definitely. This is something which I felt that we all need to look into, and then probably take the few principles of lotus and then start living our life. Now, this is how we all come here as a human being to learn. So going to the next thing, yes, our life is all such beautiful with people down here and the low our terahertz platform. And now the good news is that I'm using the terahertz blower as well, and I find there is a lot of goodness in this blower technology which our company has come down, and then that in turn is giving me a lot of confidence that other than drinking water externally, we should be able to use this instrument and then help ourselves in things which may not be helped through the taking our tablets and other supportive means. So saying that today's platform, we feel that we all need to consume the right amount of water, and it's a holistic approach. So basically we all need to understand that we all need to go stepwise, pick up everything and then start introducing into your own life and start moving forward. Now, as a human being, we all have a very common features which a lotus definitely has in it. And of course, see, even if you have to give the properties or the goodness of lotus, it's only a human being who has analyzed it and then could give. No animal has done any research on the goodness of lotus and then utilize that benefit of lotus or any other natural ingredients which is available in the nature for their own self. Just like, for example, you want to express your love, you just go and give some flowers, right? We have never seen any animals going and giving flowers to their beloved ones in the form of flowers. So in that way, we human beings are the only animals in the animal kingdom which can express and which can share, and there are a lot of things we all can do. So with that situation, when we are able to share, care, and then understand that how this universe works, lotus of life is very, very important. So every one of you, just imagine yourself, by the time I finish this presentation, just imagine yourself that you're a lotus flower. That's it. The moment you feel that you are a lotus flower, then you start wondering how this beautiful flower has bloomed, and then step by step it is coming out of its situation wherein it is able to presence itself. Now in that, the what basically is life is living in full eternity. This is what I would say to every one of you down here, and we are all here. We live a life, but are we living a life to the full of eternity in a blissful form? It is up to the individuals for you all to understand that blissful is a state where you are very happy, contented, and you are neutral to every situation, non-judgmental. You are in the universal consciousness. And then at the end of the day, we are here as one human race. So we are all in that platform only, we are all here. Even though we may be born in different countries from different religious background, it all doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we all are beautiful human beings. So now, the first thing we all need to understand that we human beings are born out of ignorance and from darkness. Now, when there are a lot of situations where not many people can understand the language I'm speaking, but the reality is one soul for or a human being to be born on this planet Earth, that particular soul has to really fight among the dark energies in this universe before it enters into the physical body of a human being in the form of a baby who is ready to accept the soul inside. So it is not the soul directly comes inside the day you are fertilized, the ovum is fertilized, and then the baby started forming. The soul doesn't come in. it comes after 3 months. So now, when you are looking at that situation, your soul has entered on this platform, not an easy task. It has fought many battles down there among the dark energies and come down here. And then you are a beautiful soul, as born as a human being. But now, definitely, you and I, we have no escape that we face challenges in life. Now, challenges in life happens, it's all because of the setting, we call it as a setting of your mind. So when you have a set of principles which you have developed or which have been cultivated over a period of time from childhood to until an adulthood, you will just follow the same thing because it's like an automated machine. So in reality, we human beings are not automated machines. We human beings can change our life according to the situation necessary and then start executing what we need to do. So in that way, if you look at, mind plays such an important role in every one of you. So keeping in mind the mind, you need to understand that you should never mind in many situations so that your journey becomes beautiful. So in that way, one of the most important factor affecting your mind is an something called emotion. Now, emotion is energy in motion. Now, the beautiful part of it is that emotion is in relation with water. Our water element is definitely related to your emotion. So in that way, when you are looking at, just look at the lotus. Lotus will never grow in any other place. If you put it on a land, definitely it will not grow. It will grow only where there is water. That too, if you are looking at, it is definitely murky water and it definitely cannot live without water. In the same way, if you consider you as lotus, definitely you cannot live without emotions. We human beings should have emotions. The only challenge you and I have is, how do we neutralize, how do we keep our emotions neutral so that in turn the mind also is in neutral state and then it's able to execute its capacity to the best of your life journey. So important, your mind plays a very, very important role if you want to live on this planet Earth. Now, just imagine you are a person who has gone to a coma stage in a hospital. You think his mind will be working? Definitely not, because he's in a coma state where even if by chance he is going to think something, because he's unconscious, he will not be able to execute anything. But at the same time, you look at a child, a newborn babies, maybe until the age of 2 years, you will notice that they are so beautiful. They have, it's like a blank paper, basically they don't have anything to express themselves in form of duality, means they don't have good and bad. They are always, they take everything as it comes and then it's an experience. So we human beings, we will not be able to live on planet Earth without our emotions. So the water element is already there. Now, so beautifully, our company came out with this water device, to help people, because when you consume water, definitely it helps. But other than consuming water, the terahertz water can be sprayed over ourselves. It can be used for bathing, for the external purification. Also, you can use this water around you. So in that way, when you're looking at, company really looked into, even though there has been a lot of devices available out there in the filtration system where water is available for drinking, but still our company picked up something very different, made it much more easy, made it much more convenient for us to handle it and then use it, so that to the best of our abilities, use the water and then start getting the benefit of drinking the water. But what I notice is, there are out there a lot of beautiful souls who have been doing a great job and a great work in extending their helping hand to fellow human beings in form of sharing knowledge, in the form of sharing the water and many other things. Everyone is doing a very, very beautiful, and this is what I see in our watch chats group, wherein everyone is pulling in a lot of information. But you all need to understand that, just be careful, especially when you're sharing this water with people having diseases and then complications. So you have to be a little more balanced in guiding them. It's just basically guiding them. It's not that we are not supposed to give them, or they are not supposed to drink water. Everyone on this planet Earth is supposed to drink water. But at the end of the day, how do we handle it is our intelligence. So in that way, just be smart in giving the right information, and then give the right guidelines to them, and so that they also get the benefit, and they start moving forward. Just as I told you in the beginning, we all start from darkness and ignorance. Definitely, a lotus also starts from a murky pond, wherein it's totally deep rooted inside the murky and the mud, which is, which is there deep inside the pond. From there, it starts growing. Definitely, in that dirty pond, there's a lot of difficult situation for the lotus to grow and then come out, and it has to stand. You will be able to see a lotus flower outside the water only. Inside, of course, it's the stem, and the roots are so strong. For you to pull the plant out, it's not easy, because it's totally grounded, I can say. In the same way, you and I, as a human being, we are living on planet Earth. So when you are living here, you need to be grounded at all levels. So when you are grounded strong enough, but as you grow, we all just visualize that as you are growing from a baby to an adult, as of now, today we are all living here, right? Definitely, we are bombarded with unfavorable situations in the form of it could be emotions from the outside world. When you're looking at that, the same lotus flower also goes through the same situation in the murky water. And just imagine, the water waves inside can move the plant left and right. There is definitely movement there. So same way, when the water moves, the lotus also moves. But when the water is dirty, the plant by itself, even though it is in the dirty situation, can you see the lotus flower? It's so beautiful and it smells so nice. And the color of it, from where did it get? It all picked up from the same dirty mud and the dirty water around it. By itself, what it did is it purified itself. In the same way, you and I, as a human being, we also need to purify our mind within ourselves and from the surrounding, as we make our journey more purer and in the form of purity as we walk along. Definitely, your journey becomes so beautiful that you shall bloom like a lotus. And definitely, now you all know that definitely this lotus flower, the moment we see, we love it actually. So what happens? Definitely, you can pick it up. There's another beautiful feature of this lotus you can see is the leaves of lotus is always floating on the water. Now, the other beautiful property of this leaf is you put one drop of water on the leaf, it will just move away from the leaf and then get back to the water. Now, in the same way, as I told you, water is linked with our emotions. So when you are looking at emotions, every drop of emotion comes on to you. What you need to do is you need to balance it, filter it, and then start looking at the positive side of that particular emotion. And then, if necessary, give a positive emotion to that particular water molecule and move forward. Now, every drop of water coming from outside is what I was speaking, right? You should understand that your whole body is filled with water. Now, 70% of your body contains water. So you just imagine yourself, every emotion you create, means by thinking or by your thought patterns, it is going to create a vibratory or a frequency inside your cells in the water molecule in your body. It is an automatic phenomena. It's not from outside. Now, so in this world, definitely outside emotion also there, inside emotion also. Now, if you're going to react to the internal and the external and get totally mood off for the situation, what will happen? You will be in a dull mood, you will be in a sober mood. Now, if you're in a sober mood, who can help you? It is only you who have to help you. So for you to help yourself, you should pick the properties of the lotus leaf, wherein even though the water molecule, which is an emotion, comes and falls on it, it just moves away. It doesn't stick onto it. So the same way, like today with the COVID, the number of cases are going exponential. I'm expecting it should go somewhere around 25,000. Is not a big deal because there are a lot of other countries which have touched up to even 35, 40, 45,000 per day. So no big deal. In Malaysia, we are actually touched 20,000, which is not a big surprise for us. Now, what are you going to do? 20,000, yes. Now, you are not one among the 20,000 who is a COVID positive. So isn't that a good news for you? It's a good news for you. So you need to be happy that you are not affected by COVID. It's okay. Now, how are you going to prevent the COVID coming to you? Definitely, you need to take all the precautions, what is necessary for you to take in the form of sanitizing, in the form of using a mask, in the form of avoiding crowded areas, in the form of whatever article you bring to your home, clean it up, wash your hands frequently. All this, see, we have to take care of ourselves in that way. And of course, we have a terahertz water. So what's a big deal? Have a spray and then use a. Now that we have all the atomizers, all the portable atomizers, put the terahertz water into it and spray it to your hands and then clean it. Definitely, terahertz is good enough for you to be an antibacterial because it has got all the positive energy. Now, how is that I can say that this is so positive that you should use this water as a sanitizer for your hand? Now, what has happened is a water fountain which I've kept in my, I've been repeatedly telling, a water fountain in my place, it's almost a year. Can you believe that not a single dust is there inside that water? Number one. Number two, there are no larvae. The mosquito larvae, I have never seen in the past 8 months. And I just add on top of the water with terahertz water. So what does it mean? So it means that definitely the dust cannot come down to that particular area wherever terahertz water is there. Why is that? Because it contains a very, very high energy. Now, this is the reason when you get your blood test done, and then AD who is down there who will do a blood test and then he will show you before and after. Now, what you notice there is you can see your cells so beautifully after drinking water. The hydration takes place at the cellular level, and then each cell is fully hydrated and full of positive energy. When there is a lot of positive energy, what happens is these two cannot get attracted. So what happens? They too try to move away from themselves. So automatically each cell will not get clumped. So the most of the problem we all face because all the cells start clumping together, and definitely each cell has got an oxygen inside. Now, if everybody joins together, where is the oxygen that is squeezed out? Definitely, it will not be able to give you the oxygen molecule which is carried by that single cell. So in that way, it is always better that you have individual cells so that you have more oxygen and more, what do you say, energy within you. It's a very common, you can just visualize individual cells or the cells all clump together. So there are different ways of doing things. Definitely, certain times when you see unity is strength, right? You know, people all join together, it is strength. Definitely that is on one part. But when you're looking at the individual part of cells, definitely I would say each cell needs to be sufficiently energized with energy, water, nutrients. So automatically the cell can do its function on its own and you will be healthy. So saying that, you all should understand that emotion is such an important role in our life that your way of handling your life should be just like the leaf of the lotus flower, wherein the emotion doesn't entangle into your body system and then start causing a problem for you to live on this planet. So just be smart in handling that. Now, can you believe that the lotus never ever thought that once it grows out of the pond down there, people like us, human beings, we use. Have you ever seen lotus flower used for any other than using it only for the deities? Whom, of course, in Hinduism we use it left and right. Of course, in Buddhism they use. So it never thought that it will be kept under the lotus feet of the deity. Yes. Now, if you and I are considering that we want to be like lotus, definitely our aim is that once we pass away from this universe, people call it as dying, but I would say we are just leaving the body and going into another world. It's not death actually. What is happening is we have been told that the person has reached the lotus feet of God. Now, how many of us have seen whether this person has really reached the lotus feet of God? Nobody knows. Now, the beauty is, why not? We live a life of a lotus on this planet Earth. Maybe after we leave the body, if the conditions are conducive for our soul to elevate to the higher dimension, definitely it will be in the feet of the creator, or the whatever you call it. We are at the feet of the creator or the god. But there also, why is that human beings only related this particular flower? If you look at it, definitely there is some significance that lotus and our human life, there is a lot of common factors which we need to. Only thing is, we don't have time to look into all these small things. So what you all need to understand is, in everyday life, everything happens for a reason. And when there is a reason, you may not know the reason at that moment of time, but definitely it is for the good of your higher self, and the goodness of your elevation to a higher dimension is what the situation comes to you. So every one of us on this platform here, whoever is had the opportunity to receive this device called the Terahertz resonator, if you have received it, that means you have been blessed with that particular device to be used in. Now, other than using the device, definitely there are a lot of benefits you would have had in the past, whatever number of months or years you're using it. Definitely there's a lot of benefits you would have got. So what is happening is, there is a reason for that to come to you. So utilize that beautiful reason in the form of uplifting yourself. See, ultimately, if you don't uplift yourself, how are you going to uplift the other people under the sun? You need to be equipped with all the information, number one. Number two, you need to equip yourself with all the information about the device or the water. And then, of course, when you are talking to other people, you need to be in a position to definitely let them know that you have been drinking this water, and by drinking the water, what are the benefits you got? Definitely you would have got a lot of benefits and a lot of advantages by drinking. Always, you and I definitely will face in this world a situation called duality. What is the duality? Is comparing. Definitely people out there are going to come and start comparing this water with other water. It's all going to be there. Now what you need to understand is, whenever you're handling such situation, when there is a comparative study coming in a situation, be smart. Pick up all the information what we have, place it on the table, and leave it to them. You tell them, this is what is the goodness we have. Now it's up to them to whether they want to take it or not. If they want to do a comparative study, let them go and do it. It is not your job, because it is they who are coming to you and asking for a comparison. Now if they have some higher benefits compared to this, let them use that water. It's no big deal. You can always let them tell them that, yes, if this is what you are feeling. See, at the end of the day, yeah, everybody have their own mindset about what they need to use, what they should not use. It's all within themselves. Now you cannot go and change their way of doing things, but you have all the beautiful opportunity for you to share the goodness. If they're going to pick up the goodness from you, let them pick it up. If there is an opportunity for them to understand what you're speaking, it's always, and always, whenever you are in a situation where there is another water coming in, and then for comparison, your job is just listen to them, pick up all the information, and then you start doing a analysis. But of course, at the end of the day, let's not waste time and going on analyzing things, because in this whole world there are so many things to be analyzed. Now we have no time for doing all that. What is best for you, when you have decided to pick it up, just pick it up and then move forward. This is what we all need to do, because at the end of the day, it is you, your journey, your mindset, and your emotions. You have to, at the end of the day, it is you as a lotus flower. You need to decide. You live as a lotus flower. At the end of the day, you finish your birth and you are going to leave the body. You are going to the lotus feet of God. Only you will know. Nobody else will know. From here, we on planet Earth, we will be telling the same thing for another 1,000 years. The same thing. The person reached the lotus feet of God. But once you pass away, it is you who is going to the lotus feet or any other feet. You have to look into it. But I feel the moment we all live taking the principles of the lotus, definitely we will be able to achieve much more calmness, much more blissfulness, much more divinity, much more universal consciousness, much more expanded consciousness. All this will start accumulating in you so that you will be able to leave the planet Earth. Now, one of the most nature's gift is being born as a human being. You just see the words there, birth and the death. It's just a 5-letter word, no big deal at all. But definitely you as a human being, we are involved with emotions. As I told you before, emotion is related with water. And beautifully, we have terahertz water. And the best benefit of having a terahertz water is it has got all the 12 beautiful properties, wherein there are a lot of goodness in that particular water after being resonated using a terahertz device. So when you have all the good benefits, so why not use it? Why not share it? We should be doing that. Saying that, what is it that we are going to do now? It's time for you to unlearn and relearn. This is very, very, at the end of the uh, situation, whatever you have learned before, if it is the correct one, move with it. It's not, you don't need to unlearn it. You have to move forward. But most of us, 90%, I would say, what we learned is not practically useful right now. You have to change this. Like, just for example, if you're taking 40 years ago, we had a beautiful black and white TV, a huge one. But today we have everything in just a mobile Android phone. You can watch a movie. It's a change. So if you say, no, 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 I want to use the same old TV, black and white, and I'm going to live on this planet, you still can live. It's not a problem. And those days we were using bullock cart as our mode of transportation from one place to another place. Now, do you think you want to use the same bullock cart or the horse carriage for you to move forward? No. Today we have a machine which can drive within from 0 to 0 to 5 seconds. I think it can reach from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour to 150 kilometers, because that's the speed we all have the machines today to help us to move forward. So what you need to do, what you learn, you have to unlearn. Very, very important. Now, just unlearning also is not at all the end of your learning process. You need to relearn. Now, relearning is something, keep your mind very, very clear that you're like a student. So when you will relearn, you will only relearn only when you become a student. Now, assume that you are a student on this planet Earth. I always call this as a school of God. You know, the school of God on this planet Earth. You're born and you're going to live here. So this school will be there until you're alive on this planet Earth. And you will be learning every moment of your life, and every day there is something you will be learning. So when you're learning, you start moving forward. But when you see the word learn, Learn, learning is the L part of it. So take out the L. What will happen is the second 4-letter word is something called earn. Now, earn is something very, very important on this planet Earth. So without learning, you can never earning. The earning can never happen without learning. So you need to learn first. This is a very, very basic. Now, what are the things how people will learn? It's all individual. You can just assume that there are 100 students in a class. There are few students who can score the first rank, second rank, third rank. It depends on the individuals. But at the end of the day, what you need to understand is if you can learn the art of living on this planet Earth, life becomes very beautiful. So you need to make yourself beautiful by learning. So it's time for every one of us to unlearn what we have learned and start to relearn everything what we. So today is a new day. Let's start learning. So this is what we all need to move forward. And you should be so proud of yourself that you are born as a human being. Now, when you are born as a human being, no doubt we are wise. That is one of the very beautiful qualities of human being. But when you look at the animals also, they are also wise enough in handling their lifestyle. Now, when they are wise, how should we be? We should be much more wiser. We should be much more clearer in what we want. We should be much more, I would say, what is that? We should be in a position to handle our life in a much more polished way so that we can live a life without problems. Now, when I ask people, do you have a problem? Everybody will raise their hands and say, yes, I have a problem. My question is, what do you mean by problem? you can use the word instead of problem, you use the word situation. We all have situations, okay? You can use the word challenge also. You have facing some challenges, it's okay. But never use the word problem, because when you talk about the frequency, the problem has got a lower frequency. So when you're using the lower frequency very frequently, what will happen is you are imbibing that frequency into your water molecule of your body, and your body is vibrating what that vibration of problem. Okay. Now, when you're vibrating with the problem kind of frequency and you're moving forward, okay, as you're moving, what will happen? This environment also has problems. There is a problem frequency there also. Maybe there is another human being down there who is also facing some problems. So now what happens? In and out, he's been talking about problems, and then he's been so dull that he's talking about the problems. What happens? Your body is water, is also frequency is problem. That particular person also problem. So what happens? Both of you get attracted. So what happens once you get attracted? You start communicating. That means you start saying, hello brother, how are you? And then you start talking. He will start this problem and you will also. So what happens when two problems can crop up and then go on exchanging information? You are creating an environment of a problem. Now suddenly you will get another person who was just passing by also comes down and joins you, and another problem will start up from there by he giving his own version of his problem. Now what happened? Three people join together. The three people's problem is a beautiful, it's like a cocoon there down conveying the message of problem. So what is happening? The frequency of problem is already there. Now if three people can create a problematic situation, imagine if 10 people are going to join, what will happen? Definitely the 10 people's problem will definitely create more problem to the situation. Now, isn't it very, very smartness of every individual that we need to cut down this vibration as soon as possible with our wisdom? This is where human beings are very, very beautiful. We can cut the way through our wisdom, with our experience. We should be able to cut all the unwanted vibration, instantly erase it up, start moving forward. You should do that because you are the most evolved in the animal kingdom. So you have it's like getting a Dato title and then you need to maintain the Dato title. The same way, in the animal kingdom, you are the most evolved. So better revolve with all the positivity to move forward. Now ask yourself, how healthy are you? This is every day morning when you get, you should ask yourself. Now, there is something called a word called homeostasis, which we use it very commonly in our epigenetic. And this is what every human being, every doctor has to look into, because this is what we need to do for our body. Now, what is it? Literally, it means that it is the same state. That means it's in the same way, vibrating at the same level all the time. Now, it refers to the process of keeping the internal environmental in a steady state when the external environmental is changed. Now, just visualize what was 40 years before and what is now. The pollution 40 years before was different compared to the pollution what you're going through now. It is definitely very high. So how is your body? That is the internal environmental. The external environment is fully polluted. How is it going to balance? Definitely, when you look at the way the external is fully poisonous around, and your internal body has to adjust to it. Now, the internal body has been trying to adjust all the while, trying to balance and balance and balance, but cannot. So what happens? When it cannot, that is when last week, as I told you, the dis-ease. No, what is the first thing? You get adaptation, disadaptation, pre-disease, and then you get the disease. So this is what will happen. So disease is not a process over a period of time. Suddenly it just popped up today. No, it has been there for a very long time. So now what is homeostasis is it's the ability of the organism to maintain a relative stable internal environment involving continuous monitoring, regulating multiple parameters, and coordinating the response to minimize the disturbance of the organism. Now, if your internal environmental has to be stable, now external you and I cannot control, isn't it? It's not your job, not my job. How are you going to control the external environment? Now, external environment, today's topic is Vaccination. Everybody is talking about vaccination. Everybody is telling, oh, people are taking vaccination and people are dying. People who are not taking vaccination also dying. So what's a big deal? Now the confusion for the human beings is, should I take vaccination or not? This is what is everybody's situation. Now my clear guidelines to you people is very, very simple. What you need to understand is, you need to have an homeostasis of your internal environment. This is very important. Now, for you to keep your internal environmental steady, stable, to the way it can handle the external threat coming inside, what you need to do? Proper nutrition is very important. Your proper mindset is very important. Drinking water. Now, this is where terahertz comes into a play. Isn't it that beautiful? You have the device. Aren't you blessed to use this device? Aren't you blessed to even say thanks to God to say that, hey, I've got this device and I can drink this water, because it creates a positive internal environment. Now, isn't that beautiful? When you can balance your internal environmental, the external environmental, of course, there are a lot of things it can give rise to an internal change, but still your body is intelligent enough that it can handle it. It will be able to definitely balance it. Now, who is at fault here? It is your body, your internal environment. So if a person takes a vaccination, and then after the vaccination, he probably after 3 days he dies off, or to whatever, maybe with COVID or without COVID, he has a heart attack and he dies off. Now, where is the situation? What exactly is the situation? When you look at just the homeostasis, your body is not ready to handle the situation. Your body was not prepared for it. Your body was not ready to, handle the situation. It was only the vaccination was only a reason that saying that it is because of that we are trying to give an reason that the vaccination created. But I would say, no, it is not the vaccination which created the situation. Your body has not been prepared. So preparation of your body will happen not just yesterday, today, or last 1 year what you did. No, it has been what you have been doing all the while. All the while, how you have been handling your internal environment plays a very, very important role in your immune system and in your health. So when that is the case, why are we looking at and then trying to blame something externally? Of course, it is a situation. If you are taking 1,000 people today, 1,000 people have been vaccinated. Is 1,000 people after vaccination died off? No, isn't it? It's only one or two or three or four. Yes. What is happening? Why it happened? Because there is something which the internal system was not prepared and it was not ready. And then, of course, the injection went in and your body is trying to, get the antibodies for the COVID. Now, when your body needs to prepare the antibodies for the COVID, don't you think that your body also needs the required nutrition? Now, have you given the nutrition? We do not know. How healthy are you? So in that way, even if your body needs to prepare to protect itself from COVID, in spite of vaccination, I'm talking to you, in spite of vaccination, your body needs to be healthy before it can actually push that antibodies so that it can help you to protect you from the COVID. That is on one part. But there are situations wherein that particular situation where we are talking about vaccination, there can be other variants of the COVID wherein your vaccination may not be able to protect you. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, if your immune system is strong enough, if your internal environmental is very strong, let me tell you, whether you take vaccination, don't take vaccination, it doesn't matter, because your internal environmental can definitely handle itself. It knows what to do. But we are living in a society wherein we have a government, we have the government bodies, there are a lot of political and other areas where you and I cannot control. And then definitely for them also it's very difficult. It is not easy for any single person to be sitting in either the president's seat or the prime minister's seat or the health minister's seat and then trying to handle situation. It is difficult for them also, because they are also human beings like you and me. So in this situation, my humble request to every one of you is look into your internal environment. Start consuming the right kind of food, have the right kind of attitude, keep your emotions very, very balanced. This is very important. When you can do this, definitely, I can assure you that we all will definitely sail through this COVID crisis, and then we'll be able to live further for the next 10 years, 20 years. We live and we move forward. But in this crisis, the only way you and I can help ourselves is we should hold hand in hand. Let's share whatever best possible information we have and keep our emotions very strong, that we should be able to handle this crisis and move forward. See, at the end of the day, we all need to handle this crisis. It's not easy, but definitely we can. Now, can you see the fourth message? Changes do occur, but the magnitude of changes must be small and stay within the narrow limits. If the limit goes beyond the changes, what your body will be able to do, the body will say, sorry, sir, I can't handle the situation. So there is another overpowering of situation. It's like two hooligans, who is more powerful will take over. It's always like that. That's the way higher takes over the lower. It's always like that. So in that way, if your external environmental is more poisonous and your internal environment cannot balance itself, it definitely goes into a deteriorating stage. And these are the human beings who will have more problems with their diseases. Now, whether COVID is going to stay here or not, let me tell you, definitely in the future, people are going to die of heart attack. They will die of tuberculosis. They will die of cancer. They will die of accident. It will be there. It's not that just because COVID comes and goes off, then later on we all are going to be like saints and no death, is it? Definitely you and I are going to die. So what's the big deal? We need to understand that please give an opportunity for your body to heal thyself from the external threat. Then you are healthy body. So keep yourself healthy. That is what is very, very important. And the other part is, of course, we just go get a blood test and then they will say, oh, everything okay, you go back. If everything okay, you go back. Like yesterday or day before yesterday, I did go to a doctor who is suffering from cancer stage 4. Now, what happened? What he was damn pissed off was, he said, hey, doc, for the past so many years, I've been doing the blood test and none of the blood tests revealed it. And I've been doing all the cancer markers. None of the tests revealed that I had cancer. And suddenly, out of the blue, in the month of February, I'm told that I'm having cancer. So he said, what is happening in the blood test? So in this is what I need to let you know, that in this epigenetic practices, what I have been doing, it's not just blood test alone to say that you don't have a disease. So absence of a disease doesn't mean you're a healthy person. This is very, very important. Absence of a disease doesn't mean you're a healthy person. And the most craziest part, most of the people would be telling me is, doctor, I did blood test, doctor, everything normal, doctor. Yeah. So be happy la. When you get suddenly the doctor will tell you that you are having cancer or whatever the disease, they will tell you, be happy la. There also you have to be happy with. Now, the question is, start a change. Unlearn what you have learned all the while. Please unlearn. You need to understand that to be healthy, you need to get into the cellular level. This is what is we are all supposed to get into. This is very, please understand this slide. You will be able to easily understand. So we have a cell, all the cells join together form a tissue. Tissues form an organ as a whole forms a human body. Now, whenever you do a blood test, it is from stage 3 and above. That means organ level. You will be able to pick up some information from the body saying that you have some markers and some problem is going on in the organ, correct? But is that good enough? That means already the disease has set in. Last week I showed you a slide wherein the disease already set in. What happens? You correct something, will go into a state of pre-disease. Now you have to get into the disadaptation, adaptation, and then only go to the healthy state. Now you have to go back reverse gear 3, right? Reverse gear 3. You have to go back. That is when you can start working at healthy level. Now, if you people are going to a doctor and then say, doctor, I want to heal my whatever diseases, it can be diabetes. Diabetes is a disease lower down there. You have to go to the pre-disease state, then to the disadaptation state, then to the adaptation state, then to the healthy state. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th stage is your disease. So you have to go back the 4 stages, then only you can be healthy. So now you please imagine that you also have to understand that if you already have a disease, to reverse back, where are you going? Do you want to go to the pre-disease state? Maybe okay. This is where you will notice that in cancer, like many of you would have seen, whatever treatment, everything they have taken, all fine, blood test, all fine. And suddenly after 5 years, suddenly once again another problem will crop up, and then say doctor will say, hey, once again the cancer has reoccurred. Now why did it happen? Because you have been put into the pre-disease stage or maybe disadaptation stage. It's still okay, but still the disease is in the process. Unless you are taking it back to the reverse gear 5 steps and get back to the healthy state, we do not know like how many people can get into that state, but definitely it is a possibility. But why do you want to go to a disease state and then put a reverse gear and come back? Even a vehicle manufacturer has given only one gear, which is reverse, only one. But the forward gear is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 9 gears also is there for bigger vehicles. But for you and me, 4 gears is good enough, right? Or 5 gears is good enough. It's all forward only one. Reverse gear is only one. So why do you want to go from a disease state? You have to put reverse gear, 5 gears you have to put, then only go back to the healthy state. Why do you create that situation? So please change the way you are living. Start looking at being healthy. It doesn't matter. Even today, take time, start working for it. Can you believe even now, before I came to this platform here, at 9:30, I went down, climbed the 9 floors and came up, because today I don't have time to do anything except this one particular thing I did was 1 minute, 40 seconds I took, just climbed the 9 floors and I came up. Good enough. At least I started sweating. So you won't believe I was sweating. So I just went, had a shower and came down and started this presentation. So please understand that you need to get into the cellular level. So health is foremost important in today's challenging situations. So focus on your emotion as it is related to the water, or especially your own emotions, what you create, look into it. Other than that, the emotion from the surroundings. Do not read too much of WhatsApp messages. Do not get into the Facebook. Do not get into the Twitter. Do not get into the Instagram information, what people have been sharing. Like recently, there was one particular sharing WhatsApp. One person called me and asked me, hey, doc, this particular message has been rampant, and they are telling they took Sinovac injection, and then after that there were 4 people in that particular message they have given, that they all went and did an antibody study, and they found that there are no antibodies after the vaccination. This is the message. Now the first question I asked this particular person is, from where was the message, origin of the message? He doesn't know. Then the second thing, do you have the particular person's name and telephone number so we can call up and ask him? No. Is there any documentary proof that their antibodies are being low after the injection? Is there any antibodies? Have they given any proof in the WhatsApp message? He says no. Now, which laboratory did they go and get the testing done? No proof. Other than that, where did they go and get the vaccination done? Is there proof for that? Now, in most of the situation, there was no proof. Only the messages have been bombarded saying that Sinovac is not good. And see, whether Sinovac or Pfizer or see, there are situations, let me tell you, whenever we take a vaccination, it is not that everybody will have an antibodies of a minimum of 200 or 300 antibodies. Not everybody. As I told you before, each individual body, we all have our own internal environmental. We do not know how it functions and how the antibodies are produced, how much it can produce. We do not know. It all depends on the age factor and your healthy factor. Everything plays a role. So it is not just creating a situation that the antibodies, no, okay, fine, this person doesn't have antibody. So what is he going to do? What is he going to do? Okay, after taking Sinovac, his antibodies is not there. So does he mean that he is going to, how is he going to protect from COVID? That is his problem now. Ultimately, it is his individual problem that, of course, there is no this one. Now, at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Are you going to file a case against the government or the person who created the Sinovac and then take compensation from the company? Is it possible? Maybe possible, but I do not know. But now the question is, what are you doing? What can we do about it? Of course, we have taken the injection. I have taken the injection. I took Sinovac. Now, what am I going to do? I am keeping my internal environment to the perfect situation that in the event of COVID, anywhere virus coming in, my body will know what to do, the protection it can do. That's it. That is what I am concentrating. I am not bothered whether I'm going to have antibodies or not, because it's not going to help me. What am I going to do? Because if I can do something, yes, I don't mind going and doing something, but I can't do anything because I have signed a document when I took the vaccination and I've come out. That's it. So once I sign a document, that means it's my responsibility that I take the vaccination. Anything problem, it's my headache. I have taken the responsibility. So what I do, I am smart. What I have done, after taking the injection, it's not only whatever the food habits, of course, after taking vaccination, number one, there are a few things I want to guide you people is number one, after you take a vaccination, minimum for 3 days, have a proper rest. The reason is your body is going through some changes because you have been injected with a foreign body in the form of an injection, and it is a vaccination to prevent the disease from coming in. This is what we have been doing. Okay, what your body needs is it's trying to find out why this fellow has taken this particular antigen inside the body. Now, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to produce antibodies. So your body is trying to do something else. It's like, it has been all the while trying to manage the environmental pollution, your smoking habits, or whatever it is. It is trying to balance that, but suddenly another injection comes in, and then your whole body is wondering what is happening here. This is a new fellow coming in and telling me to do this job. Even your body is damn pissed off, your body gets damn angry. Why is this fellow coming and telling me to produce antibodies for COVID now? But your body is trying to cope up. The body is not telling you, no, I'm not going to do, I'm going to close the shutters and then going to clear you off. No, the body is trying to. So this is where you need to really, really take care of yourself by having a good rest. Do not do any exercise, especially physical strainful, any kind of exercise. Please do not do it for the first 3 days to 7 days. Very important. Drink a lot of water. Very important. Then your diet, especially after immunization, have a very bland diet, more of vegetables and fruits and juices and tender coconut. Hydration is plays a very, very important role. So balance yourself. Do not pump in too much of non-vegetarian heavy. See, non-vegetarian is a heavy meal, your body, when it is after an immunization, it has to balance, isn't it? Your machine already is loaded with a problem where it is trying to produce antibodies. On one side, it is overworking, and the other side, you're eating all non-vegetarian, putting inside the machine and trying to grind it. Your body will say, sorry, sir, it wants to do this or that. It doesn't know. Too much of overwork, collapse. This is what happens to your body. So for the first 1 week, have a very, very balanced diet, have a good rest, stop thinking too much about the COVID, stop analyzing the situation which you cannot help. Say thanks to whatever the situation. If you have taken the immunization, say thank you to the divine, thank you to everyone who has been instrumental in giving the injection, to the body which has taken the injection. So say thanks to that and start moving for, create a positive emotion, please. And drink a lot of terahertz water, balance yourself. This is what you all need to do. So your focus should be on drinking sufficient water every day. Nourish yourselves with healthy water. Now, this is where terahertz comes in. So terahertz is the future, just the beginning. You can switch over to the healthy journey by, you want to become the properties of a lotus, start doing this. We have a beautiful situation and we have a device and everything is fantastic. So what you need to do, there are beautiful properties of this terahertz is 7.6 hertz, molecular structure, very small, high viscosity, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, everything is there, properties are now. If anybody asks you, do you have how do you prove it? You just tell them that the company has all the certification, which is taken by, they have taken the responsibility, they have the certificate. If anybody wants individual certification, they need to go the test, do the testing on their own, pay the money and get the testing done. But for us, the company has done everything. Just take it with this amazing property of terahertz resonated water. What is your problem or my problem? Our job is to just drink the water, use it. If you cannot afford to buy the instrument, it's still okay. You pick up the water from your close friends or acquaintance who is around there, drink the water and take care of yourself in that way that you become more healthier. Your aim is to become more healthy. This is what you all need to understand. Become healthier. And homeostasis is what we all need to understand to do for your internal environmental, not external. External homeostasis, you and I cannot do anything. Unless you live in a developed country wherein there are a lot of balancing things, it is done by the government and everything is done so beautifully. But here we all live in Asian countries. So let's live the way it is, but take care of our internal environmental. So what is my message to you all is, be like a lotus to attain true divinity in your life. and water plays a very, very important role in life. So I wish that every one of you down there, you need to become like a lotus, less of emotion, more of blooming like a lotus, and more like when you become a lotus, definitely you will be placed on the lotus feet of God. It is definitely done. So let's all look at that particular situation. And the quote for this week is, what is sadness is sinking in adversity is sad. Can we be glad? Why not? You need to glowing in adversity is what is your smartness. Definitely you and I, we are all going through the adverse situation in this COVID, but I think let's glow in adversity so that we are glad in whatever we are doing and move forward. But by being sad, you are sinking, it is a problem for your own internal environment. Saying this, I thank every one of you for joining the Saturday's program. And today I will not be able to continue my this one because at 11 o'clock I have an appointment. I need to go to the hospital. I will be leaving shortly in another few minutes. So thank you very much and have a fantastic day, and wishing every one of you a great week ahead. And then coming next week will be another topic. I do not know what will be the topic, but I'll come back with another topic to enlighten every one of you. Thank you very much. And Linda, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pravu. Yes, we have to stay in a positive mindset. And thank you, Dr. Pravu, for such a insightful sharing. Yes, there's a few questions. I know you're rushing off for your appointment.
No issues. Just we will finish and go.
Oh, can okay.
Yeah.
Only quite a very few. Having talking the terrace water since having taking the terrace water since March this year, but legs are still swollen and the eczema far up, still on and off. Any advice?
Okay, very simple, Linda. For this particular beautiful soul, no doubt water, our terrace has got detox facilities, is one of the properties where it will detox yourself. But they should understand that there is something, as I told you, the internal environmental, external environmental, internal homeostasis is very, very important. All right. Now, what kind of environmental is surrounding that particular person? It can be because of the lot of pollution, especially the lead poisoning, mercury poisoning, aluminum, and arsenic. These are the four metals which is really difficult for your liver to throw it out. So what happens is when this is there, your dermatitis is not so easy to clear it up. So the best simple advice I can give you is do consume a liver tonic, which you can write down this particular name, Niruri, Niruri. If you can get this powder, it is a liver support. Basically, it is a herbal preparation. And this particular powder, if you can consume it regularly, maybe 2.5 to 3 grams twice daily, if you can take it for 2 to 3 weeks, it's basically a liver tonic. So when you can support your liver with supportive this one, probably with this water and the nutrition, as I told you before all the time, your liver needs 35 vitamins and minerals for it to detox. If you are just drinking water, it is not enough. You need to have all these. It's a combined holistic approach for your liver to detox. Now, if your liver is ready to detox, is your kidney ready to detox that out? So your kidney also needs a proper nutrition. So you need to understand that terahertz water definitely will assist you to the liver as well as to the kidney. But the nutrients you have to look into. So this is where probably either you call me back, probably I will guide you, or you just try with the Niruri.
Okay, the next question is, after bone operation, there's a piece of metal inside the bone. So can the person drink terrace water, and how much to drink per day?
Hey, this I've been repeatedly telling your weight is whatever your weight into 42 is your requirement of water. Number one, this is in general. Now, if, for example, you are going to consume 3 liters of water, I'm talking about the normal 3 liters of water. But if you are going to consume terahertz water, because of the high energy and the properties being a little on the higher side, you start with lower and then slowly increase it to 2000 liters. And then only if your body can adapt, go for the 3 liters or 3.5 liters. Like right now, I'm drinking only terahertz water. It's around approximately 3 liters. My body is balanced with it, so shouldn't be a problem. Whereas coming back to that particular person having a metal plate inside the bone, what is the indication that they should not be drinking water? I don't find any reason. Definitely, they can take the water because it is going to help them actually in healing. And of course, in general, they are looking at only the leg part where the metal is put, right? How about the water for the other parts of the body? You need water, isn't it? So drink terahertz water is not a big deal. It should help you.
Okay, another question is, if you resonate 5-liter bottle, how many times would you resonate it for optimum terahertz wave? A few meetings ago, you said that resonate 3.5 twice.
I resonate 3.5 liters twice. So definitely, if you are talking about 5 liters, ideally it is not advisable. But if at all you want to do it minimum 2 times or maximum is 3 times is good. But 2 times, I think the 5-liter can also is good. But I find that terahertz resonating in the jug is much powerful and stable than directly doing it in the plastic containers. Or your plastic container should be a very, very good quality, and then it's okay. It should be a food grade plastic, very important. People are buying the 2 ringgits plastic bottles and trying to fill in water and trying to do the terahertz. I would prefer invest in a good quality 5-liter can, which will cost you nothing less than 6 to 7 ringgits. If it's a food grade, then definitely it will be beneficial if you resonate 2 times.
Okay, last question, doctor. Here's my friend has been drinking terahertz water for 4 months. He's still experiencing joint pains in ball and on his head. And on his head.
Head, is it?
Yeah, head and joint. And joints.
How old is he?
Didn't mention.
Okay, let's be a little. Most of the time, they all will be 40 plus. Most of the time, the friend of the person who is down here will be definitely around 30, 40 or 50 years. So his or her friend also should be in the
just type in 60.
60 plus. Okay, now if it is 60 plus, now the question is, how good is the blood circulation for this particular person at 60 years in his body? Definitely we don't know, because most of the time it is a microcirculation which is not good, is the reason for most of the time aches and pains and the diseases, which is it could be arthritis or any, even uric acid. Uric acid very high also is one of the reason for joint pains. Now, other than that, if you look at joint pain, maybe even calcium deficiency also can be one of the reason. It can be vitamin D3. So when you look at the situation, it is a little wider angle. The person is drinking the terahertz water, but what is his nutritional state? We do not know. I would definitely appreciate, check your nutritional state, and then we move forward. It'll be much more easier than just taking terahertz water and trying to find solution. Because of terahertz water, they want to clear the situation which needs more than just drinking water.
Okay. Come in one last question, sorry. There are many, after many months of heavy usage, how do we verify the device efficiency?
What deficiency?
Device, they have been using it for many months. So how do we?
Hey, Linda, this one, I think either George or somebody on the company.
Yeah, yes. Okay. Later I'll ask and then I'll let him know. One question is, what supplement would you recommend for the friend just now, the one that has joint and headache, the one that is 60 plus?
It's little difficult, Linda, because just blindly, if I'm going to give a supplement, not knowing what deficiency the person has, then how am I going to justify in giving the right kind of? They can call me. Probably I need to ask a few more questions for them. And then from there, definitely, I don't mind assisting them. But they need to call me. At least I can guide them what they need to do.
Okay, one last one. I'm very sorry because just came in. 57 years old female, non-diabetic or other medical issue, but after a medical checkup 2 weeks ago, start drinking tablets only recently, but notice the sweeping at feet and the water retention. No kidney problem.
Okay, now here, as I told you, we all are under the impression blood test they do, and they say there is no diseases. 57 years, very healthy. This is what they are thinking. But how healthy are they unless they do a hair analysis or the bioquantum analysis? We will not be able to tell how healthy are they. So I am very clear in that. Now, what happened? Beautifully, someone recommended the terahertz water. It's very beautiful, of course. Now this person consume the water. Now when you're consuming the water, what you need to just visualize your body as a beautiful machine. There are some problems which is already there existing inside, which is not opened up to the situation where you realize that there is a problem because you just got your blood test. But this water goes inside and starts hydrating your cells and start working at the cellular level and start pushing the problems out. So slowly what will happen is you will see that there is some problem, like in this particular case where she is seeing the swelling of the legs. Now, if at all, if there is a swelling of legs, what I would look into right now is definitely the black flow of blood is not correct. That means it's not fully efficient. And for a 57-year-old, 100% her vessels, the valves and all will be weak. So definitely the water has gone inside, trying the cells to push everything. Now the cell is trying to work and then push the water out, but the valves are not working. It is because of the age. Now, it's not a big deal. What we need to understand is how do we help her? The simplest thing what she can do is she need to do the leg rising like the L shape on the wall. Keep the legs for a minimum of 15 minutes every day. It will help her to backflow of the blood will be there, which will be the easiest thing I can guide that person. But definitely she needs to be, I would say, assist a little more and then make the person more healthier because she doesn't have a disease. It's good. But to become healthy, we need a proper guidelines. Probably I can help her if they call me.
Okay, Dr. Prabhu, they have been asking, is it possible to get your contact? So,
Linda, give me my number, Linda. You can just give you have my number, isn't it?
yes, I have.
Just go ahead and give it to them. So thank
Okay,
you
sure.
very much, Linda.
So I need your permission. Thank you. And thank you everyone for attending this morning Zoom. And thank you, Dr. Prabhu. We will have Dr. Prabhu back again.